I'm currently in the middle of 10 book series, and before I start a new book series, I would like to finish some of the ones that I am already in the middle of. So I've picked 3 books for this video that are continuing a book series that I'm currently in the middle of, and we're gonna read them. Let's get into the video. I am back with an update on King of Pride. I now know what the book is about, so I can give you a little overview. Okay, so this book is about Kai and Isabella. Kai's family owns like a multi-billionaire company, and he just found out that he is now in the running to become CEO because his mother is stepping down, and he didn't think this was going to happen for years. And so he is dealing with that and what that is going to look like for him. And Isabella is an aspiring author who also works at a bar for this prestigious society group that Kai belongs to and his family has belonged to for years and years and years. And basically, Kai is friends with Dante from the first book. Isabella is friends with Vivian from the first book, and so they are seeing each other around because their friends are friends, and they can't help that there's a little something going on there between the two of them, and they can't deny their feelings. But since Isabella works for this social group, her and Kai are not allowed to have a relationship. I'm at the point where like there's something going on, and they're both fighting their feelings for each other, and you're seeing it on both ends. They're trying to deny them from themselves, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see when they finally acknowledge it themselves and when they're just hiding it from each other, and see how that all plays out. So far, it's actually really fast-paced. You jump right into it, especially because it's the second book in the series, so you don't have to get as much backstory as you did with King of Wrath. I like Kai's character. He kind of reminds me of Connor Cobalt from the Addicted Calloway series. I think it's just like the intelligence and a little bit of arrogance. He knows he's smart. He knows that he's up there, and he uses it to his advantage. And then I really, really, really like Isabella. I feel like she kind of reminds me of herself, or I think she kind of reminds me of myself. She's very impulsive. She's kind of struggling with her dreams. She knows that she wants to be an author, but she's struggling to write, and she's struggling to get there. I'm very interested to see how her whole writing process goes and see how big of an impact Kai is on her and her writing. Because right now she's in a writing slump, or a writer's block. Yeah, that's all I got for right now. I'll be back when I have more updates for you. And I'm having a good time. Bean. Guys, I am really into this book. I'm really into it. Kai is just so different than other male main characters I've read before. I'm 41% of the way through this book, and yeah, Kai is just so different from other male main characters I've read before, and I really like him. I really like that he's quiet and reserved, and you can see a very clear distinction. Him and Dante are completely different personalities, and they make it really clear in this book to separate the two men. Like, they're nothing like each other, which I really enjoy. Also, I really like Isabella. Like, in King of Wrath, I didn't love Vivian. I couldn't relate to her. Nothing about her really was like, I don't know, just didn't vibe with her that much. But Isabella, I feel like a part of me is Isabella. I feel like I really relate to her. Besides her whole fighting her romance with Kai, I like her other plot line of trying to figure out if she's doing the right thing because she's writing a book, trying to figure out like if her dreams are actually what she's supposed to be doing, and like questioning herself on whether like this is the right thing. There's a quote in here and I almost freaked out because I was like, this hit a little too close to home. I'd always been a social butterfly, the person who cheered my friends on and pushed them to step outside their comfort zone, but there were nights when I lay awake, stripped of all confidence and pretense, wondering who the hell I was and what I was doing. Had I chosen the wrong path? Was there even a right path for me? Or was I destined to drift through life like an aimless ghost? No meaning, no purpose, just day after day of routine and drudgery. A life wasted on bad decisions and short-term highs. And ow. It felt like a personal attack, not even gonna lie to you. And I get it. I feel like I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're just gonna go with it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm very much liking that. I think their romance is finally starting to come to light. Men in their pride, they would rather die than admit that they were wrong. And it's so real. But it seems like Kai is going to put his pride aside and see what's going on with Isabella. And I'm really excited. But I'm really liking them together. It's hitting really well. It's hitting all the right places for me. And I'm super giddy over it. I'm super giddy over them. They're super cute. She says, if I were someone else watching me do what I was doing, I would scream at me to stop being an idiot. You're an idiot. Why? Literally, why? For what reason? Dude, because the third act breakup. Like, why are we doing this? Like, it would have been perfectly fine without this third act breakup. Like, it's coming out of nowhere. It's so unnecessary. Why are we doing it? Why? Because we need another conflict? No, I don't want it. Alright, friends, I'm back and I finished King of Pride. And here are my feelings about it. I loved the main characters of this book. Kai, I don't know if I loved him more than Dante. Like, I don't know. There's just something about the geniuses, the super educated men, that just, there's something about it. But also just how he was with the fact that I can't remember these characters' names, even though I just read like a whole entire book about them. I just read 300 pages about these people and I don't remember their names. The way that Kai cares for Isabella, super cute. And then Isabella, I loved her. She was super fun. I liked her vibe. Everything about her, I was just like, no, yeah. I feel like I don't have that many thoughts on this book. I had a good time reading it. I liked the characters. I liked the plot. I did not like the third act breakup. A third act breakup will never fail to make me angry. It will always make me angry. Actually, it just, like, there's a way to do a third act breakup, and a lot of authors just, like, it just doesn't hit. Like, the third act breakup, it has to be something, like, of substance. Like, I feel like the third act breakup in this book did not have to happen at all. It came so abruptly, and I was just like, well, why are we doing this? Overall, I gave this book like a 4.5 star, a 4.25. I'll give it a 4.5. I liked that their romance wasn't the only thing that was going on in the book. Both of the characters had their own side plot that was going on that would affect their relationship. That's King of Pride. I'll be back when we pick out our next book. Alright friends, our second book for this video is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I adore Elsie Silver so much that I am so excited to read this book. This is the last book in the Chestnut Spring series. It follows Beau, who is the middle child of the Eatons. It follows Beau and Bailey. Beau comes from like the most well-known, well-loved family in the town of Chestnut Springs, and Bailey comes from the most hated family in Chestnut Springs. And so all these years, Bailey works at the bar in the town, and so this whole time, like, her and Beau have seen each other, they've interacted, all of this stuff, and he's always been nice and kind to her, even despite who her family is and all their beef with the family. And so things happen. Beau goes through a lot because he was in the army, and he basically got lost and suffered a lot of like PTSD. He got burns, all this stuff, and so now he's back in town and he's trying to deal with what his life is now and all the trauma that he has. And so he starts frequently visiting the bar in which Bailey works at, and they start to gain this like friendship between the two of them. And so Bailey's whole issue in this book is that people in the town hate her because they hate her family. They look down on her because her family are like cons and they've been to jail and all this stuff. And so Bailey keeps saying to Beau, like, ugh, I can't imagine what it must be like to be an Eaton. Like, if I had your last name, like, people would forgive me for everything, and blah, blah, blah. And so Beau strikes up a bet with her, and he's like, okay, if you want my last name so badly, let's fake marriage. Like, let's get engaged. And so now they're fake engaged so that Beau can get his family off his back, and so that she can get a job, a good job, and move out of town and get away from Chestnut Springs and her family and her brothers and all of it. That's where I'm at. I'm loving it so far. I feel like anything Elsie Silver writes, I will love. Either way, doesn't matter. I've always loved Beau, seeing him throughout the other books. I've been waiting for his book, and I'm finally getting to it. I also love Bailey. She's very sarcastic and witty and kind of isn't really taking any shit from anyone, and I very much love that. And yeah, I'm having a good time so far. I am currently, I want to say I'm like 25% of the way through this. This book is a brick, and I didn't even fully put that together, but it's humongous. But that is that so far. I will come back with updates at some point. I have a quick little update for you on Hopeless by Elsie Silver. And Elsie Silver just gets it. She knows what we need. The banter that her main characters always have with each other, spectacular. Bo is so, like, down bad. He's so down bad for her, and I'm always obsessed when a man falls first, or he falls harder than she does. Like, it's always so good. And he's so protective over her. So they go out together in the town. They go out on like a date night, and everybody in the town hates her family. And so they like look at her weird, and everybody just hates her for no reason. For no reason that she could control. And he literally turns around and he goes, "Talk shit about my fiance again, I fucking dare you." I mean, that line is in like every fake marriage trope book ever, but like, it's so good. It hits every time without fail. And I also just love the Eatons in general. They're so welcoming and open to everybody, and they're just so sweet and willing to help. I have a little bit under 100 pages left, so I'll be back when I finish to give my final thoughts. Dude, Harvey is so funny. He is my favorite Eaton. I cannot. Well, I have finished Hopeless by Elsie Silver, and she just knows what's up. Elsie just gets it. The book was very fast-paced. If you know the Eaton clan, oh my god, they're just so amazing. We love them. I loved this book. It was really good. Not my favorite, because that hands down goes to Reckless. Theo Silva is my Chestnut Springs boyfriend, for sure. But I love the relationship between Bo and Bailey. They are so cute. They were truly made for each other. I'm obsessed. The marriage for convenience trope will always be so good for me. I love it. I feel like there hasn't been one that I've been like, ooh, don't love this. And one thing about Elsie Silver that I adore, because it doesn't happen in very many books. The third act breakup makes sense, always. And it's usually not like a full breakup. And that is what I enjoy about her books, is that she just knows how to do it right. It's not this like annoying thing that happens in the book that you're like, oh, they were just happy. Like, what the heck? Like, it always makes sense. Yeah, I love how protective Bo is of Bailey. And I also love how Bailey is the only person who will stand up to Bo, kind of, or like tell him that he's being an ass, opposed to like everybody else who are like walking on eggshells around him based off of like what he endured when he was still in the military. I love it. Their banter, fantabulous. Elsie Silver writes amazing banter. Like, this book looks so thick, but oh my gosh, the way that I flew through it, because it's just, her writing's so good. It's so fast-paced, even though the book is over 500 pages. It doesn't feel like you're reading that much, because the story's just so good and you just want to keep reading. It doesn't matter that it's 500 pages. Either way, I adore the Eaton family so much. They are the best. And I love that you see all the other couples in this book, since it's the last one and everybody's already together. Seeing them all together and how they interact, their family dynamic, the found family dynamic as well, is immaculate. The girls are all there for each other. The boys are brothers, and their banter is phenomenal. Harvey Eaton is the best Eaton. Can we all agree? If you've read them, you know that Harvey is the best. And I want a Harvey book. Even though I probably will not get it, I want a Harvey book so badly. Okay, so overall, this book, I gave it a 4.5. Not my favorite Chestnut Springs book, but overall, the Chestnut Springs series is a 6-star series. I adore them. They're amazing. If she wanted to write 7 more books in this series, I would accept it. But now we're moved on to the Rose Hill. And also, I loved seeing the end where she's trying to bring Ford into it. Because we know how I feel about Ford Grant. He is the blueprint for men, period, of what I want in a man, Ford Grant. So that was cute to see as well. I can't wait to read the rest of her books. I don't know when the next book in the Rose Hill series comes out, but when it comes out, I'm gonna cry about it. So those are my thoughts, and that's how I felt about Hopeless. And on to our next book.
This is the cutest thing ever. He's having a conversation with his mom, and she's like, have you ever heard the saying, if you're with someone who doesn't speak your language, you'll spend a lifetime having to translate your soul? I was like, she's like, there's nothing wrong with either of you, just 2 different people. That's how I can tell Brianna's different. She understands you even when you don't say anything at all. You see the way she looks at you when you're not watching. She looks at you like you're the best thing that's ever happened to her. My heart. I'm gonna cry. Oh, God.
Alright friends, I am back and it's been a couple days. I went away for my friend's birthday. I continued to read because I went to the beach. I didn't give any updates or didn't give a synopsis, didn't even tell y'all. So this is our 3rd book for the video, which is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And I've been so excited to read this book. I read Part of Your World a couple months back and I really enjoyed it. And with the sneak peeks of this character in that book, made me super, super excited to read this. I'm on page 241 of the book, which is 61% of the way through. This book follows Brianna and Jacob. Brianna is an ER physician who just got divorced and is taking care of her brother who has renal failure and needs a kidney transplant. Jacob just moved from another hospital to Brianna's hospital to get away from the fact that his younger brother is getting married to his ex-girlfriend, which is so messy. I could not. And so basically the 2 end up running into each other, and Brianna gets a really bad first impression of Jacob and doesn't like him. And one day she finds a letter on her locker and it's from Jacob, and so they start communicating over letters and it's very cute. So far, well, since I'm 60% of the way through the book already, I really, really like, well, I obviously like Brianna. She is great. She's very, like, no men. Like, men are the worst. Don't like them. Don't need them. Her and one of her friends were, like, talking about men, and the quotes were so good that I was like, yep, no, so right, twin. Okay. She goes, I'm beginning to think men are not sending us their best people. And her friend says, they're a constant reminder that we don't choose our sexuality, because who in their right mind would choose to be attracted to men? And then later it says, remember, you can't spell disappointment without men. And I agree wholeheartedly. She's like, I don't need any men. I need my best friend to help me get through this. She also is so caring for her brother. It's so cute, and seeing how, like, detrimental his health status is to her personal her happiness and, like, her life is really touching. As well as the fact that Jacob has, like, really, really bad anxiety, and you see it all throughout the book. That's his main character trait, which, hey, I feel you. I'm with you. I get it. And I love how Abby Jimenez is writing about the anxiety because it feels so real. I feel so seen reading this book. There was a whole thing where she ends up reaching out to him and she asks him what he's doing and he's panicking. And I'm with you. His overthinking, all of it, I'm right there with him. I love seeing Brianna take in and realize things that make him uncomfortable and continuing to do things to further, or doing things to make him feel more comfortable when he's around things that would typically make him anxious. And I like seeing that she's becoming a comfort for him and is helping him get through all these difficult, or these things that would typically be difficult for him on a normal day when she's not around. And I think that is really cute. The things that he says in this book have made, I was giggling and kicking my feet. I was so giddy reading this book just because both of them together, it's the little things that they're doing for each other that is making everything just so much better. It's not even they're doing these massive things, but it's just that they know each other well enough that the little things are what's making the relationship. I think I'm gonna finish this. I'll be back with my final thoughts. No, guys, because why is Jacob the cutest ever? He's so cute. So they had she went over to his house one time and she was like, why don't you have a couch? You just have 2 recliners. That's so weird. And this man is now trying to buy a couch because she said that. And so she goes, why are you getting a sofa? To replace the recliners, like you said. You're replacing your chairs because I came over one time and casually said you should have a sofa. I want to have the kind of living room you like. Why is that so cute? It's not a big thing, but why is that so cute? He wants her to be impressed by him. He wants her to be impressed by the life that he lives and live up to what she wants and what she wants her life to look like. It's the little things like that. Or before when she was I would never take a man's last name. And he's okay, I'll take yours. I need that. I love that. Men like this don't exist because no. Oh. And then she goes, but don't you want to go sit on it first? What if it's hard? He goes, if I go, will you come? I'm this single. This is so single. This is me single crying. I finished it. That was so cute. I had a really good time. I'll come back with final thoughts at some point. Hi friends, I am back with my final update on Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and this book was one of the cutest things I have ever read. It was adorable. Seeing the relationship between Brianna and Jacob blossom was one of the best experiences of my life. These two are truly, they were meant for each other. It is talked about in this book how made for each other that they are, as well as how they became such big parts of each other's lives so quickly. The pacing of this book was incredible. It was very fast paced, very easy to get into. The characters were so complex And I love how Abby Jimenez makes it that these two have such big plot points outside of their relationship with each other that is a big catalyst for how their relationship takes form. Also, the third act breakup in this book was so good because it was integral to the plotline of the story. It wasn't something that happened randomly or was just sprung on you. It makes sense within the context of the plot and the character development, which I really, really, really enjoyed. Overall, this book gets a 4.75. It was basically a 5-star book, but there was just something that didn't exactly hit 5 stars, but it was so close. The connection between these two characters just, I cried. I didn't think this book was gonna make me sob, but oh my god, the way that Jacob is with Brianna literally brought me to tears multiple times, not to mention the fact that her name is Brianna, so all these characters are like, Brianna, it's okay, you're strong, you're blah blah blah, I love you, as Brianna. Oh my god, it feels like it just hits so differently because she has my name, and the things that they were saying to her felt real to me. And I cried quite a few times in this book, not even because it was sad, just because it was so cute, and they were all happy tears, and all tears that like wanting, like I wanted to be her in this moment so badly that I cried multiple times. So overall, 4.75. I had a great time reading this book, and I am super excited to read more of Abby Jimenez's writing. And that is that. So we had a 4.25, a 4.5, and a 4.75. I think that this was a really successful video. I'm glad that I got to at least finish a series in this video. And so that is the end of today's video. If you had a good time hanging out with me, hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.